Hey divas. So I'm about to tell you guys how I accidentally can't say that. How I accidentally hooked up with a sex addict. Good morning guys and welcome to my first YouTube video. So ignore if the sound is crappy or if I look crappy or just editing issues because this is the first episode. We're learning. This is a learning curve. We're growing together here. Anywho. So, I thought for my first story time, I would tell the story about how I accidentally hooked up with a sex addict. I know, do not look at me like that. I can't even say I was young because this was kind of recent, but you know, I'm older now, and you live and you learn. So, anyway, let's just dive into it. Well, I guess first we can talk about what to expect on this channel. I think I'm gonna do story times. We might try to get a couple of vlogs in here. Maybe some TikToks, Reddit stories, I don't know, but I'm trying to find my flow, guys. I'm kind of nervous. You guys scare me.
7 years later.
Okay, let's get started. Okay, so firstly, I have my iPad here for notes to remind myself of things because I get sidetracked, and I have ADHD. So we're gonna try to keep this as cohesive as possible. Also, you guys have to watch me and make sure I don't start talking super fast or mumbling because I start talking super fast and mumbling sometimes, and so I gotta like clock me when I do that, okay? Anyway, you guys set the scene. Okay, so this was like a couple months ago. It was like kind of recent, but not super recent. So I stay in the DMV. That's where home base is for me. So I also like to use those apps. We are gonna call the one I like specifically is called, we're gonna call it Curious George because George both has a G. If the G doesn't help you, I don't know what it is. But and because I'd be curious on that, that's why I use it. So we like, you know, George. I'd be going on George, and George is very, very interesting app. So I don't really be on there doing stuff with people, but I'd be on there trolling and talking to people. So at the time, I had to go up to North Carolina a lot. Why do I have to go to North Carolina a lot, you ask? Well, my grandparents live in North Carolina. My grandparents have been having health complications, and because of this, I have been going back and forth from North Carolina with my mother. As you know, obviously you guys still have the app, so when you're new in the area and you're on those apps, you know how scrolling is. You know, you're a new hot commodity on the block. So when I would go to North Carolina, you know, I would scroll, I would casually, you know, look at it, but never did anything. Never really had a chance to do anything. It was just always something going on anyway. And I never just really wanted to, honestly. It's not even that I didn't have the chance to. But, you know, you would have, like, the people who would frequently message you, you know, when you go baback into the area. Because at this point, I was going, like, maybe every, like, 2 weeks, maybe once a week. Like, it was happening pretty regularly. So, one of the people who was messaging me regularly and caught my eye, his name was Paul. No, it wasn't. I don't remember. We're gonna call him Paul though because we need a name for the story. And why not Paul? What's wrong with Paul? Okay, so Paul was a Latino boy, and he was a little short. Wasn't into that, but he looked good. His pictures were really good, at least. His body looked good. His tool was okay. Wasn't really like what me personally, what my fave is, as you know, I like it. I like junky, you know, moto. His was not. His was like not small, but not. I guess just right in terms of Goldilocks, but it wasn't just right for me. No shade. So, but he was cute. And he was a flirt, and he would always flirt and be trying to talk to me when I would go down there, and, you know, nothing ever happened. So, you know, obviously then we would talk, then I would, like, go home, then, like, we wouldn't talk until I got back in the area, then he would try again, and, you know, we continued this cycle of back and forth of me not giving into it. Until one visit, we went down there, and it was me, mother, my cousin, my brother, and me, and we all went down there. So at the time, it was like a really bad time. Like, it was not fun at all. Not fun in the slightest. So my mom and my cousin were staying at the hospital with the family member. So that left me and my brother to go back to the house. Now, this house, all this time we're going up there, has no AC. There's no AC in it. If you're gonna be there and it's hot, you're gonna just be burning. And if it's cold, get a blanket. But there's no AC. Actually, I think the heat works sometimes, but there's no AC for sure. During the time we're going, it is hot and it is hot. It is like the devil's area hot, like very hot. Especially like even if it's like not as hot outside, inside like in a house that's stuffy, it gets even hotter. So it was even like okay, like maybe going outside it wasn't as bad during night, but because we were inside in that stuffy house, it was. So the way me and my brother would try to alleviate this is obviously, at least me, I don't know what he was doing, but we'd be taking a cold shower and just trying to lay still under the fan, you know. So we would stay at the house for most of the day and end up back at the house around 11 p.m., 12 a.m. So we did that. That's our cycle. And everyone's sleep. You know, we take our showers, we're laying there. It becomes like 1, 2. Everyone's sleep. I can't sleep. So obviously when you can't sleep and it's late, what do? You scroll on Curious George. Duh. If you got that, you got a sticker. What was that? Illuminati star, guys. So at this time, Paul again is trying to do his big one and get me to come out. And I'm like, no. And then Paul's like, please. And then I'm like, okay, well, maybe. And then he's like, well, I'll come over there. And I'm like, no. And he's like, well, you come here. And I'm like, no, I don't have a car. I actually did have a car, but I wasn't going to drive it. Like, it wasn't mine. I wasn't going to take my car to some random man's house. I don't know. So then he was like, oh, well, really persistent. He's like, well, I can come pick you up and then bring you back to my place. And I'm like, I don't know about that because, you know, you could, like, strand me and I could be killed and it could just not go well. And plus, at this point, it was like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. So I'm gonna say like 3 a.m. maybe. And I think he was about 30 minutes away. So I was like, no, that's like 30 minutes for you to get here, 30 minutes to get back to your house, which is an hour. That's 4 a.m. Then however we do stuff, 5, 6. Then you have to take me back here. I wouldn't get home until 6:37. No, I have stuff to do. Can't. No, I'm not staying out that long.
No ma'am. No ma'am. No ma'am. No ma'am.
And then he's like, well, we could just like, I guess like link in the car. And I'm like, mind you, I don't even want to do nothing. I don't want to do nothing. But then he just keeps insisting and he's like, oh, well, let me just eat the groceries. Let me just eat the groceries. And you know, your girl is bored, stressed. Fine, like that would actually maybe help me relax. And it's hot, like, you know, why not? So I'm like, okay, fine. So I get ready, stalling. Actually, this might happen at 1 because I think I stalled for a while getting ready. Get ready. Then I tell him I'm ready. That's when it was like the 3 a.m. So and that's when we talked about the car thing. So flip that part, whatever you got. It doesn't matter. So finally he's on his way and he is, I think when he told me 30 minutes, let's say, it was really like 40 minutes and 45 minutes, and he just told me 30 because he knew if he said longer than I would trip and be like, no, which was already manipulative. That was already the red flag. And so he comes, and I was almost about to cancel because once the 30-minute mark hit, I'm like, where are you? What are you doing? You're wasting my time. I'm about to go to bed. Oh, and before this, I literally forgot the part where I eventually did agree to do the act with him because I was like, okay, why not? And he was insisting. He had a breeding kink, and if you know anything about breeding kink, you know what that entails. And I was like, I don't know you, no. And he was like, well, I stay out the way. Like, I don't really mess with that many people. Like, I haven't had sex in so long. And I'm like, I'm not stupid. No. That's still stupid. And he's like, well, no, like, I'm clean. And I'm like, okay, well, even then I'm trying to flip it. I'm trying to be like, well, you're clean, but you don't know if I'm clean. Like, I could be a dirty bitch. Now, am I a dirty bitch? No. But he's like, well, no, you're not because you've been dodging me. Like, but you don't know me, sir. We don't know each other. So I'm like, no. And I'm like, get condoms. And he's like, I don't have any. And I was like, well, you know, I guess we can't link. And he's like, wait, okay. I'm gonna go, and he's looking at grocery stores. And I'm like, you need to pick those up before you come here. But at this point, it's getting late, and stuff is happening. And the one he was gonna go to, it was actually not a grocery store. It was a gas station. It was a Sheetz. Love Sheetz. So he's about to go to the Sheetz to pick them up, and I'm like, that's kind of out the way. Actually, you passed me to get to the Sheetz. Just get me, and then we can go to the Sheetz together. So cool. Finally gets there after I almost cancel. End up getting in the car. He's actually still cute. Like, he's cool, and we drive, talking, and he's supposed to be taking me to the Sheetz so we can get the condoms. And as we were driving, I kind of know the area. I am familiar with my grandparents' area. Like, I've been up there a lot. I kind of know where stuff is. At least I think I thought I did. So he's driving, and I'm like, where are we going? He's like, oh, like to the Sheetz. I'm like, no, I don't think it's this way. And he's like, yes, it is. And I'm like, no, I don't think it is. Like, I'm convinced he's kidnapping me, because at this point, we've been driving for so long. I'm like, like, the Sheetz is not this far away. You're, like, kidnapping me. And I was like, oh my God, he's about to try to take me to his house. He's like, no, I'm not. Like, you can look it up. And then I, like, was, like, looking, and then I look it up, and I'm like, oh, he was taking me to the Sheetz. Oopsies. I thought I was finna be murdered. I was like, oh my God. So that would have been my sign to be like, go home. Go home. But I was like, no, like, I was tripping, blah, blah, blah. Like, we can kill girl. So he goes inside the store, the Sheetz, if you will. I know, I sit in the car. I should have looked through some things while I was sitting in that car, but I didn't. I just sat there, being lazy, not going inside, and not really paying any attention to him. I made him get me water while he was in there. And, yeah, he came back. So, we're driving, and yeah, we were looking for a spot. And at this Sheetz, there were police parked there. So then he got a little paranoid. He was like, the police are like there. And I was like, well, we can just park in like a random area. So he's trying to find a place to park. We find this little abandoned off the cut little parking lot. And we're like, okay, this is fine, I guess. It's pretty dark. So we go in there, and we're sitting there chilling. And like, obviously I don't initiate stuff. If you want to do stuff with me, you initiate with me. So we're sitting there, and then he's like, oh wait, like, I don't know, like, I'm actually kind of nervous. Like, I'm nervous. And I'm like, oh, like, okay, that was the next red flag. I should have been like, but I wasn't, because I'm stupid. And he's like, yeah, I'm just, like, nervous. Like, and I'm like, okay, well, we don't have to do anything. We can just talk. Like, because I'm nice. I'm chill. And I'm, like, really calm at this point. So I'm like, yeah, we can just chill. And he's like, okay. And we're chilling, and we're talking. And I'm trying to, like, he's, like, touching my leg as we're talking. And then I was like, let me try to, like, make him more comfortable. So then I go and I sit in his lap as we're talking. So he likes that. Then he's really, like, touching me. And he's, like, moving his hand upwards and, like, touching on me. So, and as we're doing this, he's like, yeah, I'm just, like, nervous. Like, I don't know, like, I just have a weird thing about, like, sex and intimacy. And, like, it's just, like it makes me nervous, it makes me scared. And I'm thinking it's like a gay thing. I'm like, oh, is it like you're not like out the closet, like you have this weird homophobia with you? Because at this point I was about to just clock out and be like, no, I'm not doing it. So like I signed up for a really quick fleeting moment of fun. This is getting a little too Dr. Phil-ish for me. Like, I didn't sign up to be Dr. Phil, babe. Does Dr. Phil help people? I guess I was Dr. Phil because I didn't help. So because you'll see. So yeah, and he's like, oh no, I just have like it with sex in general, like sex with anybody. It's not just about like sex and guys. Like, I guess it's just a weird religion thing. And I was like, oh, okay. And I thought that was weird. But then he starts getting into like touching on my body, and he's like, oh, do you want to like get in the back seat? And I'm like, okay. Like, finally get this train moving. Like, this is what we came here for, people. So we get in the back seat, and he has his groceries, and he eats his groceries, and he's okay with it. He's not the best, but he's not bad at it, it's a vibe. And then after eating the groceries, he wants to like do other things. But then, like, before we could do other things, I was like, wait, like, he's trying to like get it in me. I'm like, sir, I'm not. So I'm like, let's like kiss. And he's like, oh, no, I don't do that. And I'm like, Now I feel like a whore, a slut, a harlot. Like, what? Like, and then he's like, oh, but can you give me head? No, no, you just won't kiss me. You want me to give you head? No. And I was like, oh, I don't do that. Because obviously, why would I do that? And you didn't. He was like, oh, really? And I'm like, yeah, really. So when they're just standing there looking at each other, like, he's touching it. I didn't touch it. Then, finally, he gets it, you know, to where I guess it's acceptable, the condoms on. And, you know, finally, after a lot of effort, he gets it in me. And he gets it in me, and he's starting. And we're doing it. And it's fun for a second. And as soon as I'm like, okay, I was like, wait, what's that quote with Britney when she was like, wait, I'm going to find it. Okay, I'm ready. Put it in, I said, and he replied, it's already in. And my world collapsed. That was me during it, but it's okay. I started to get in the rhythm of it, and I was like, fine, I guess this is going. And right when I was like, okay, this is fun, he stops, and I'm like, why'd you stop? And he's like, oh, you know, and I'm like, really? He's like, really? And I said, my world collapsed again. I was like, okay. Okay. Okay.
Disappointed!
So then I'm like, whatever, wasted my time. I'm ready to go home. Because at this point, it's kind of late. I'm ready to go home. So he starts talking something. I don't even know what he's talking about. And I get in the front seat, and he says something. And I don't even remember what he says. I honestly don't. I think I said something that made him mad. I don't remember, because then he gets out the car. He doesn't answer me. And he starts going in the trunk and rattling stuff, doing stuff. And I was like, sitting there, flabbergasted. Like, am I about to get murdered? I'm about to get murdered. He's gonna murder me right now. What is he back to Jacob for? Like, Ted Bundy? So then, yeah, he comes out and he's like walking towards my side. I'm like, oh, it's over for me. But before he gets to my door, he opens the back door, and I'm like, okay, cool. Maybe he's gonna come in from the back. So I'm like, just like accepting my fate, because it's like, whatever. I don't know. I'm stupid. But then I realized, wait, no, he has something big, and he's clicking it into the seat. What is this? Oh my god, he's clicking in the car seat. The car seat. So I'm like, fuck, someone's husband. He was a dad and a husband. So then after he clicks the car seat and he gets in the car and he's looking at me crazy, and I'm like, oh, are you like married? And he's like, no. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, you have a girlfriend? No. Apparently he has a fiance who's dead and died 2-3 years ago. He's a single dad. This is what he's telling me, though. Mind you, men lie, but at this point, tell me to lie, because if I don't know, I can't be a bad person, right? Because I didn't know. I don't know. But let me just tell you guys what he started telling me. So he goes and he's like, yeah, she's dead. Like, she died in a car accident like a couple years ago, and now I'm raising my child by myself. So then I'm like, if you're here with me, where's the child? You left the child home alone? And he's like, oh, no. Like, she's with her aunt. Like, but I have done that before, not gonna lie. And I was like, oh, you're kind of shitty for that. Like, that's crazy. And then he got mad at me for saying that. And I was like, but you are. Now, I don't have... You think I would stop trying to aggravate him because he could kill me, but I didn't stop. So then he started trying to tell me about how he said something. I don't know even how we got on the topic. But then he starts talking about how he was 19 days clean. And I'm like, what? And how he's a sex addict. And that he struggled with sex and having a lot of sex. Even when he was with the girl, he was cheating her a lot. Before she died, then she died. And that was really bad. I didn't mean like that. R.I.P. girl. I'm so sorry. A moment of silence for her, because what was that? Okay, yeah. So, yeah. And she died, and he like was still cheating on her though. And so, but he told me, oh, like, I haven't had sex in 19 days though. So, and I'm like, 19 days. That's not even a month. What do you mean 19 days? You said a while. First of all, you told me you haven't had sex in a while. 90 days is not a while. That's not even a month. Two, Mr. I stay out the way. I don't have that much sex. You are a sex addict. You literally have a lot of sex. You literally have a lot of sex. I was like, oh God, like, gross. And he's like, what? Like, da, da, da. And then he's looking at me crazy. And I'm like, that's kind of, I was like, no, like, you're kind of, he tries to say, like, oh, but I have, like, a strong moral compass. And I just kind of laugh. Because I'm like, what? And he's like, what do you mean? I was like, well, you just told me how you was cheating on her, so that's not a strong moral compass. And then you tricked me into coming out here. I didn't trick you. And now he's getting aggravated. The pizza is aggressive, y'all. The pizza starts getting aggressive. And I'm like, I mean, what do you call it? Like, if I was like, you didn't, he's like, you came out of your own volition. You're a grown adult, like, da da da. And I said, no, because, like, you can't you can't really consent if you don't know the full picture. So you knew if you would have told me that, oh, I'm a sex addict and I have had sex in 19 days, I would have been like, no, I'm cool off you. So that's why you didn't tell me that, and you didn't, and if you would have been like, oh, my child, da da da, I would have been like, oh, no. So you purposely left out that stuff and phrased things in ways to make it seem like you were this person you weren't. So that is tricking. I mean, like, I wasn't, like, mad about it. Like, I wasn't like, oh, like, blah, blah, blah. But I was like, oh, then you did kind of trick me, and that is what it is. Because you did. Like, that's still manipulation, babe. So he's looking at me crazy. He's like, but then finally starts driving. Oh, actually, he still doesn't start driving because at this point he's still trying to talk to me. And he's trying to tell me a story, and he's like, oh, but yeah, you don't care. Like, you don't care. And I was like, I mean, no, I don't. Like, I don't know you. No shade. I was like, he's like, you probably just want to go home. And I'm like, well, yeah, I do. It's kind of like 3:37 in the morning. Like, yeah, I want to go home. And he gets so upset. He gets so irate. And he puts the car in drive, and he starts driving me. And I'm like, okay, hopefully he's driving me home and I don't die. I'm trying to just make it back to the house. And he's driving painfully slow now. And he gets his light, and he just goes, do you really believe in Jesus? And I'm like, oh, God. Oh God, he's about to like kill me out of some, religion psychosis or whatever. And he's like, oh, like, how does he even say it, guys? He's like, oh, like, do you believe in Jesus Christ? Like, do you believe he's our savior? Like, so you don't believe Jesus died? And I'm like, being like, trying to answer like right, but not like completely lie, just in case he starts quizzing me, because I'm not really the most religious person, so I don't know a lot of stuff. So I'm like, no, yeah, like, I believe in it, but like, I don't know how like much of it I believe and don't believe. He's like, so you don't believe he was a person? I was like, no, I'm sure he existed, but I don't know if I believe in like the Bible and who wrote it and blah blah blah. Like, that's its own other thing. But then he starts like yapping about it more, and I'm like, oh God. And I'm trying to just listen and not really answer. But then for some reason, he says something, I don't remember what he says, and I giggle. And he goes, what's funny? And I'm crazy, guys. Where is my sense of living? I guess I just didn't want to live, because I go, oh, like, you're just funny. He's like, what? And I just was like, you're funny. Like, you're acting like you're just a morally high person, where, again, we talked about how you tricked me. And then he's like, well, he keeps just saying, oh, as he just kept saying, I'm sorry, like, I'm so sorry, like, I'm so sorry. And I was like, oh, is he, like, saying sorry because he's about to kill me? That's why I said that. I thought he was about to kill me because he kept saying, I'm sorry. So I'm like, oh, he's about to murder me. And he goes, oh. I go, no, it's okay. The way I thought to diffuse him was, I go, oh, no, it's okay. Like, at least you gave me a story to tell on my podcast. He goes, what? And I go, yeah, like, this is an amazing podcast story. So if anything, you helped me. He goes, you're going to tell people this? I go, well, yeah, but obviously I'm going to, like, change your name. So if you're saying this, hi, I'm sorry. And he's just looking at me like, what? Like, that's kind of crazy. And I was like, oh, like, well, sorry. And that's when if he was a killer, I would have got murdered right there, because of what. Why would you say that? I don't know why I thought, in my head, I was like, well, maybe if I tell him I'm going to tell people, he'll know, like, people are going to listen to me and he'll leave me alone. I don't know what my brain was telling me, but at this point, he's like, okay, he's talking still and driving, and I'm like, watching him, and I'm like, oh, you missed your turn. He's like, that wasn't my turn. I'm like, yes, it was. He's like, no, it's not. I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm like, oh, shoot, he's not taking me back home. And he misses another turn. I'm like, oh, that was your turn. He's like, no, that wasn't it. And I'm like, okay. And I'm complaining, do I have to stop, drop, and roll out this car? And finally he goes in like the back way into the neighborhood. I'm like, okay. He just wants to keep me in this car longer. And then he, as we're pulling up, he goes, I've never had anyone tell me they don't care. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, he's like, I've never had anyone like not listen to my story and tell me they don't care. And I'm like, oh, Like, he's like, no one's ever been that mean. I'm like, oh, no one's like ever said that. Oh, okay. Oopsies. Like, I don't know. I just feel like it doesn't concern me. Like, you probably use a sob trick every time you do something to a girl, and then you like kill her after it. Like, no, like. I maybe me being different and being mean is what got saved my life, honestly. But then I'm like getting out, and I'm like, okay, well, we pull up to my neighborhood, and I'm like, well, this was fun. Like, you still standing there, staying there, and I try to give him a hug, like, to be nice, and like, hopefully he doesn't like stab me as I'm trying to get out this car. And he like pulls back, and I'm like, oh, well, like, what? And he goes, and I'm like, okay, well, you didn't want to hug, and I leave. And as when he's like, well, I didn't say no, and I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, I didn't say no, like, to your hug. Like, I didn't say I didn't want to hug, and I just looked at him, and I was like, oh, okay.
Okay. Whatever that means.
And then I close the door, and I walk away. And then he drives off, and then I wait for him to drive off, and then I walk towards my house, and yeah, that is the story. And I didn't die, and I hope I told it at least a little bit cohesively, because I feel like I was all over the place. But it's my first story time, guys. I will get better as we go along and less nervous. And I hope you guys subscribe and like me. Toodles.